Nakalibing na pero hinalay pa. Ganyan naman ang nangyari.
When human rights are being suffocated.
Rights. The promise that us.
If you've ever wanted to tell your government that stealing money from flood control project is maybe not the best idea, you might want to consider doing it via strongly worded email instead. New reports suggest that showing up in person could result in getting punched, kicked, and accused of crime that literally never happened. Let's set the scene for September 21's, a day that will go down in history as either the day we tried to fix corruption or the day the cops decided to use everyone as a punching bag. Tens of thousands of people showed up across the country to yell about how government officials, politicians, and contractors are allegedly pocketing money that's supposed to keep people from drowning during monsoon season. Now, let's be completely fair and balanced here. Some protesters did stupid stuff. Sinusunog nila ang mga sasakyan, binabato nila ang mga pulis. Manila police say they arrested 216 people, including 91 kids. According to 10 people who talked to Amnesty International, police didn't just go after the stone throwers. They went after literally anyone who was in the general vicinity. Ray, a 20 years old who was just holding a sign that said, "Take to the streets," which, to be fair, is pretty on the nose for a protest. 3 guys in plain clothes grabbed him, punched him in the face until his eyes were swollen shut, then handed him off to uninformed officers who apparently thought, "This guy hasn't been hit enough yet." They kicked him, hit him with batons, and dragged him by his hairs until he lost consciousness. When he woke up, they accused him of killing 2 police officers, even though 0 cops died that day. The beating only stopped when someone yelled, "The media's coming," because apparently the only thing scarier than beating up innocent people is having someone film you beating up innocent people. Ray says they loaded him into an ambulance and keep hitting him while they drove. Because why not make an emergency vehicle into a mobile assault vehicle? If there's one character in the story that deserves its own spin-off series, it's the notorious Blue Tent, located in Mediola Street. This tent had all the markings of a regular old event set up. No badges, no uniforms, no big sign that says, "We're definitely not beating people in here." But according to Maria Sol Taule, a lawyer who's been dealing with this mess, it was totally run by police and served as a place where they could do whatever they wanted without anyone looking too closely. Omar, 25 years old, was just hanging out with his family watching the protest when police decided he looked like a troublemaker. As they walked him past other officers, each one took a turn punching him or hitting him with a baton. When he got to the blue tent, he found 14 other people inside, including one guy with blood running down his face from where an officer had hit him with a gun. We're not expert on law enforcement, but we're pretty sure hitting people with guns isn't in the training manual. Then there's Ahmed, 17 years old, Yusuf, 18 years old, and Ali, 19 years old. 3 cousins who do construction work nearby. They'd gone out to buy rice because even people who live near protests need to eat, and were waiting for police to let them cross the street when officers surrounded them and cuffed them like they just robbed a bank. The police took us to the tent where they hit us with their batons, Ali told investigators. They punched us in the face and kicked our torsos. They keep asking us who paid us to be there, even though we just wanted to get back to work so we could afford more rice. We didn't have money to pay someone to protest. We can barely afford lunch. Greg, 18 years old, was arrested near Ayala Bridge and brought to the same tent. He says he watched people being led out with broken noses and black eyes before officers made him stand with his arms spread and hit him over and over with batons. He showed amnesty workers welts on his back that looked like someone had tried to draw a map of the Philippines on him with a stick. Ryan, 22 years old, had a similar experience. He says officers hit him on the head and neck because he looked at them the wrong way. According to Ryan, they accused him of verifying their faces to identify them later, which we guess is police code for he made eye contact with us and that's suspicious. Multiple people said they were beaten for the exact same reason, because apparently in Manila, looking at a cop is now grounds for a physical punishment. Michael, 23 years old, was arrested with his girlfriend Sam, 21 years old, and her friend Lina, 22 years old. All three say they were just there to take videos and post them on social media. Like any reasonable group of 20-somethings, Michael was beaten so badly he thought he was going to die in that blue tent, while Sam and Lena were locked in a nearby area where they could hear screams and thuds all night long. Even now, I can still hear the cries coming from the tent, Sam said. I have nightmares about it. We lose our jobs because we couldn't go to work while we were locked up. Our boss said if we had time to get arrested for rioting, we had time to find new jobs. We didn't riot. We just stood there and watched. Lawyer Marisol Taule says some victims needed to go to the hospital. One guy had his jaw dislocated after being hit with a baton. Another had broken ribs, and several needed stitches for cuts on their heads and faces. Under Philippine law, if you get arrested without a warrant, cops can only hold you for 36 hours before they either charge you or let you go. That's not a suggestion, that's the law. But many of the people arrested on September 21 were locked up for 10 days or more before they could scrape together 18,000 pesos to post bail. That's about a month's salary for a lot of Filipinos, so not only did they get beaten up, they had to spend all their money just to get out of jail for something they didn't do. On September 25, 4 days after the protest, lawyers groups filed a motion asking the court to release over 100 people who were still being held illegally. Only those who had gone through inquest proceedings were let go that day, which left dozens more sitting in cells wondering when someone was going to realize they'd made a mistake. As of November 4, police say 97 people have been formally charged with crimes related to the protest because nothing say justice like charging innocent people to cover up your own mistakes.
Philippine authorities have an obligation to maintain law and order but also to respect and protect the rights to freedom of expression and peaceful assembly. Abela said, charges against people arrested solely for exercising these rights must be dropped. Filipinos peaceful taking to the streets this weekend have a right to protest against corruption without fear. The police must ensure their safety, not target them with violence. We didn't know what's going to happen this weekend. Maybe the police will actually follow the rules this time. Maybe the protesters will be able to make their voices heard without getting hurt. Maybe the government will finally listen.
Mahirap nga ba talaga ang Pilipinas? Gayong limpak-limpak ang nananakaw ng korupsyon.
Human rights are being suffocated.